Hello, everybody. It is Cindy Ingram, and I'm happy to join you live on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and Instagram. I figured out how to go live in all the places at once, which is pretty exciting. If you leave me a comment on most of these platforms, I will see it live. So if you have any questions as I go, I would love to hear them. And even if you're watching this recording later and you have a question, feel free to ask it in the comments as well. Um, so you might have heard me on Facebook and an email talk about the Art Connection Circle. And it is, of all the programs that I've created in my lifetime, I've created a lot of different programs. The Art Connection Circle is by far my favorite one. And I thought I would come on here and tell you a little bit about it, about what happens at each session, about the kind of magic that occurs there, and what you get to experience if you join the Art Connection Circle. So, if at any time you feel, yes, this is for me, I would love to invite you to join us because it really is truly an amazing experience. You can register at cindyingram.com/circle. But let me tell you a little bit about it. So, the Art Connection Circle was born out of a place of, having spent my entire life looking at, talking about, teaching about art, about, going to art museums and having these really deep and powerful experiences, and experiences that were more than just, I'm learning art history, or I'm learning about the art, or I'm learning about how art is made. There's so much, there was something deeper that I kept getting closer and closer to, but I couldn't quite articulate like what truly was happening when I went and looked at a work of art. And so when I was trying to figure this out, when I realized there's something deeper, um, I had this vision of a group of people just sitting around looking at works of art, not in a way like I'm used to doing it, leading just an interpretation exercise as we're interpreting the work of art, but to interpret the art in a way where you're also interpreting your own experience of life. We're also putting yourself into it, and you're also learning about who you are as a person and seeing your struggles and your life experiences and your emotions like reflected back at you, and how can you learn about yourself through looking at art, because that's really what I felt that I had been doing all this time. I've looked at art and I've made really deep connections and powerful life changes in front of works of art that were more than just learning about, like, what time period it was from, or what the artist was thinking about when they created it, or whatever it was. And so I realized that art was more self-development than anything else for me. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be amazing if we really harnessed that power that art has to reflect back your humanity to you, and really like put all of our focus and attention on that place and what magic can happen. Because the an artist is putting so much of themselves out into the world. When they create a work of art, they're putting their emotions, their life experience, their, whatever it is, their energy is coming forward. And then as a viewer, you're receiving that, and then you're putting whoever you are forward, and then where those two things meet is kind of a really magical place. And so wherever you're at in your life, wherever the artist was at in their life, come together, and that synergy is super exciting. And then you add in a group container where other people's energies and life experiences are getting into the mix, and then it just gets more deep and deeper and more powerful. And it's really a very, very special experience. And so what the Art Connection Circle is a program where we look at art together and we talk about it. And in that time interpreting works of art, you are looking at your life through a new lens. You're through the lens of the art you're looking at, through the lens of the other people in the room, reflecting back what they see. And you're learning so much about yourself. And the art that I choose in these Art Connection Circle sessions is art that is really primed for this sort of experience, that when I look at it, I see, okay, this one is really strong and to talk about our limiting beliefs. And so in this artwork, I don't explicitly say this is the artwork where we talk about limiting beliefs, but I put it up and that just naturally comes up in conversation. And then we start to explore what our limiting beliefs are. Um, we talk about values and what's important to you and how you want to feel in the world and how you can feel more of that now instead of waiting until you have more money or you have a bigger house or you have a better job or whatever it is, that you start to feel that now. And we do all of that type of discussion through looking at and talking about art. So it's really fascinating, very interesting. And then uh, you start to notice your patterns. For example, your first interpretation of some of the artworks might be kind of negative, and you realize, wow, I'm interpreting this artwork in a really negative place. But someone else is interpreting it in a different way, and maybe I can look at my problems in a different way too. And we've seen such amazing transformations occur over the course of the program. And the community is so beautiful because you spend a lot of time, the people that we spend our time with, rarely do we get to have these really deep and meaningful conversations about our humanity. Rarely do we spend time philosophizing and really thinking about our humanity and who we are in this world. It's so much of our talk is about the surface level things, very shallow things. That are necessary as part of natural conversation, but like for example, today in Texas, or on Tuesday, we had a really bad storm happen in the middle of the night, and it was terrifying. The tornado sirens were off. It was like the wind was super loud. um, you know then we wake up the next day and like half of the businesses are out of power. All these people don't have power. There's roads closed because there's tree limbs in the road, and um there's people's trampolines who in different yards and things like that. Thankfully my house remained pretty intact. But stoplights were out. I mean, it was just like it's been a wild few days here. But all of the conversations have been, wow, isn't this crazy? Like it's been this kind of really surface level thing instead. And it's like we keep having the same conversation over and over again about that, but maybe not about like how scary it was to feel powerless in that moment, and like what if this was a tornado, and what if our lives were about to change. It wasn't that level of depth of conversation. It was just kind of like, my truck got dinged because of the thing blew into it, or whatever it was. So it's it's like a small example, but it's the conversations that we have in this container are so deep and so meaningful, because once you open yourself up to be more vulnerable, it invites other people to be more vulnerable. And when you hear them say something vulnerable about themselves and the artwork and what they see, it allows you to say what you see, and then it just kind of gets deeper and deeper and deeper in that conversation. And so over the course of this 8-week program, you really get to know the people in your group, and you get to feel like you're a part of something. You look forward to seeing them. If you have to miss a session, you're so sad that you didn't get to experience their energy that day. I mean, it's so beautiful to be in a room of people who are showing up as they are, um, loving you as you are, and having really deep and philosophical conversations, while also really more deeply understanding you and your humanity and your growth. Um, that level of vulnerability is going to cross over into other areas of your life. You're gonna through seeing what's possible with relationships, you're going to notice ways to improve the relationships in your lives. Through seeing what's possible in the work that we do with the values, you're going to be able to draw boundaries in other areas of your life. When there's all of this stuff that happens, and it's going to bleed into your life and make you feel a little bit more centered and grounded in who you are as a person, what you want out of this life. and that what you want is possible in this life. So all of this is possible with the Art Connection Circle. And I know I hype it up because it really is that good. It really is that magical. It really is that powerful. And it's an absolutely wonderful experience. So if you would love to experience this for yourself, we have 2 cohorts running this summer. One of them starts this Sunday at June 2nd on it's every Sunday for 8 weeks from 12 to 2 Eastern time. And we skip Father's Day. So it's 9 weeks in total in the time, but we have 8 sessions. They're 2 hours long. And it used to be an hour and a half long, and we just always found we wanted to go longer. So I know 2 hours sounds like a long time, but when you're in this environment, you kind of don't even want to leave at the end of the 2 hours. You're like, no, let's keep talking. It's like it's that vibe. When you're sitting around the dinner table and all the dishes have kind of been cleared, but you're having this really great conversation. You just want to stay there forever. That's like the feeling that you get when you're in this circle. It's an absolutely beautiful experience. So the first cohort is starting this Sunday. You can go to cindyingram.com/circle to register. But we also have the second cohort happening starting on June the 18th. And that one is from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. So convert all of those to your time zone. And that one, we have 1 week in July we skip. So both of them have a week's break in the middle. And I do find that week's break really is a good way to kind of integrate some of the stuff in your life. And you really learn, you kind of start to miss the people though, that you really do miss seeing your friends. So by the end of it, you're really close with this group of people. So if you're interested in joining me, please do. It is absolutely wonderful. I cannot wait to get started. It is so fantastic. So cindyingram.com/circle. If you have any questions, you can type them in here into this video. You can also send me an email, cindy@artclasscurator.com. You can send me a DM on Instagram or on Facebook. And just anyway, you can find me, ask me a question. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. If you feel like you need to have a conversation, I'm happy to hop on a quick Zoom call with you as well if you need to talk it out. So thank you so much for watching this video, considering the Art Connection Circle. It's a truly magical experience and that you don't want to miss. And also, this is the last time I'm running the circle until 2025. So if this is something you're truly wanting to do, now's the time to do it, because I'm not going to be running in the fall because I have something else special up my sleeve for the fall. So thank you so much. I will talk to you later, and hopefully I will see you in the circle.